It's 4:30 a.m. on June 21st. Archaeologist John McHugh and archaeoastronomer John Lundwall set out in the dark in the high desert of northeastern Utah. Led by a field guide, Tim Sweeney of the Utah Rock Art Research Association, they find themselves in the middle of a gulch canyon. Here, on the southwestern wall, is a very old rock art panel. Barely visible now, there are a series of circles and spirals, some pecked dots, and a few animals. And over top these petroglyphs is painted a large pictograph. The locals call him the Red Devil. He has a square headdress and two long oar-like horns. John McHugh dubs him the oar-headed figure. He carries a ceremonial staff, a motif common enough amongst Fremont rock art. However, this staff is different than all the others McHugh and Lundwall have seen. It is painted as an extension of the figure's arm and is bent and curved. Unique, to be sure. Something strange occurs in this little canyon that only sunlight can reveal. And not just any sunlight, but the light that is born from the first rays of the summer solstice sun. It's now 6 a.m., and those rays begin to creep over the northeastern wall. They begin to touch the rock outcrop of the pictograph panel. As the summer solstice sun rises, its light descends upon the rock face. In a moment, it touches the top of the left oar of the pictograph as viewed from the front. But due to a little notch in the opposing canyon wall, the sunlight spills in and slowly fills the headdress of the oar-headed figure. Until the figure is crowned with the sun's fiery light. The headdress has been painted to catch this very moment, perfectly framed to hold the morning light of summer solstice sunrise. But the show is not over. A few minutes later, the sunlight descends further and wraps the ceremonial staff of the figure. Now we know why it is different than all the others. Its curvature is purposeful, for it has been analogized with the curvature of the sun shadow line of the sunrise. And still, a few minutes later, the oar-headed figure stands on two protrusions of shadow upon a horizon line of light. At this moment, the figure has been born into the world through the rays of the summer solstice sun. It is now a living, breathing image of pure cosmic power. The entire phenomenon takes about 40 minutes to occur. If one is not there to witness it, one will never know what has just happened. Indeed, Over centuries, thousands of people have passed by without knowing the figure's true nature or its very unique positioning on the rock face. For only a few days of the year is his true identity revealed. Several miles away, along a winding creek, we find another unusual rock panel. Here is a very unique geologic feature. A large slab of sandstone has fractured, and its lower quarter is broken away, leaving a large horizontal slab of rock jutting out into the sky. Curiously, there is a marvelous petroglyph carved underneath the horizontal axis of sandstone. His image has been pecked over former pictograph pigments that are so old that their shapes have become amorphous. Still, their bodies do not appear to be the trapezoidal forms of Fremont anthropomorphs. McHugh suggests that they may be pre-Fremont. If so, this rock site has been marked as sacred and special for countless centuries. The petroglyph figure carved atop the older pictographs is our oar-headed friend. He has been stylized. His square crown has only been indicated by 2 dots, matching the 2 dots of his eyes over top his mouth. His long oar-like horns have been truncated, but there they are, as clear as day. Their shape and positioning are significant. Another miracle of light occurs here, something that must be watched to be understood. The horizontal pillar of rock points to a notch in the opposing western horizon. On summer solstice, the sun sets in the west. From this viewpoint, however, a remarkable coincidence of nature transpires. The summer solstice sun descends from its zenith by following the left of the horizontal pillar of rock. The sun descends below the pillar right into the notch on the horizon the pillar points to. Further, as the sun descends, the pillar casts a unique shadow against the rock face. The shadow is strange in that it does not move significantly for well over an hour. The edge of the shadow follows the horn of our oar-headed figure and perfectly bisects his image. His face is covered in shadow. This place is a sacred shrine, a solar observation point to watch the summer solstice sunset occur beneath the pillar of rock and within the notch on the horizon. It is marked by the shadow-covered oar-headed figure. Now we have 2 sites where this special oar-headed figure has been placed to mark specific solar events: the summer solstice sunrise and sunset. At the first site, The figure has been painted on the rock face to specifically frame the sun shadow line of sunrise. He is bathed in light as the sun rises. At the second site, the figure has been carved to be cast in shadow as the summer solstice sun sets. His placement beneath the sandstone pillar indicates the perfect viewing position to watch the sun descend below the horizon. The oar-headed figure has introduced an ancient mystery. Where else is it found? Does it mark other special solar sites? What is its significance with summer solstice? What is its significance to the ancient Fremont? These questions have led John McHugh and John Lundwall trekking across hundreds of square miles of sand, stone, desert, mountain, and sun. They have climbed through canyon, forest, and river, looking for ancient clues left behind by the forgotten Fremont. What they have discovered will rewrite the history of Utah. Join the quest. Search for forgotten realms of memory, history, mythology, and astronomy as we journey through the mystery of the Fremont sun god.